had the earthquake in San Francisco back in 1906. That brought on the Frisco quake, so you can put the blame on me. They once had a shooting up in the Klondike when they got damn grooved. Folks were putting the blame on the lady known as Lou. That's the story that went around, but here's the real lowdown. Put the blame on Maine, boys. Put the blame on Maine.
We're talking about the evolution of race in this country.
In Nairobi, capital of Kenya, Europeans and Africans still walk the streets in fear of the dreaded Mau Mau. For it is that band of fanatics whose bloody deeds have cast a dark shadow across the face of Kenya.
Let's change the settings of my mic. Aki, if you know how to like change the settings on a mic, please help a girl out. Because I'm doing, we just get the sound of the water, the dog, and everything else. The door, everyone that sneezes. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Quino, and I am your host. I'm not your host. Well, the first timeline, the early 90s to early 2000 and late 90s. That's the first timeline. According to all the sources that were available at the time, which is just mainstream media, the only way of being that would be considered decent or like acceptable is the correct term, is a white way of being. And you can see that in the films, in the music videos, in the short break. Okay, early 2000, not everyone had a TV, and if you did, you used to like Englishize everything. Like, you know, like when you go back to Shags, your parents would brag about you knowing English and not knowing your mother tongue. And obviously the Shags people will be intrigued by your English speaking skills and will try to like learn. Like that was the coolness, the cool kids, all the cool kids swag being westernized. All the cool kids were being westernized at that time. So like that was the only way of being. Like, how dare you speak to me in Swahili? You know, I don't like you know, like the kind of people who don't know their mother tongue. Anyway, the sources that at that time on the TV like made it clear that being like embracing your Africanness or like your culture was like primitive. Even the TV anchors on their hairstyles, you can see their hairstyles, they were very much like flat ironed. If you did never flat ironed flat iron, you can eat an babes. The relaxing and all that. Una calcit na asiji. Me nilikuwa nanyonga 24/7. No, not really, but yeah, neka came and then you straighten your hair. So everyone was doing that. That was the it girls. All the girlies were wearing juicy couture. The outfit ile ina match ila jeans na lines like juicy couture made in Kenya. As jika zilikuwa made in Kenya, but mimi najua tu zilikuwa fiti na everyone had them. Kwanza Christmas year was you what? Yeah, that one. TV stations, the only type of it's not the only one, like they had two types of media. The only films produced that were Kenyan made were the type that were clownish, like they're like ridiculous.
Askari wa serikali! Askari wa serikali! Askari wa serikali! Yes sir. Ingia ndani hapa mara moja na gazeti ya leo. Ndio sir, yes sir. Kocha, wewe ni mjinga. Yes sir. Wewe ni kubavu. Yes sir. Wewe ni mjinga. Yes sir. Weka hapo. Yes sir.
Vitimbi.
Hakuna kurudisha pesa. Mimi kuna Kiswahili mimi usema hapa sitilei. Sema. Kupa ngali kupa dereva.
Like there's no way you are going to like start acting like a ridiculous character. Ama vitimbi, like you are never going to get inspired by a character from Vioja Mahakamani. Sasa hiyo ilikuwa tu just for laughs. There's no way you're going to like start acting like that. Ilikuwa for the suckers. Just come home and laugh. And the only other way you're going to get inspiration is from characters from films like Desperate Housewives, One Tree Hill, Sopranos, Charmed, Cuando se mía. Cuando se mía. Neighbors. Like those are the only people who could inspire you, because like the characters are like behaving like they had a way of, they had personality traits that you could emulate from, you know. So in Kenya, like as in our way of like the race that we was mostly very much embraced wholeheartedly, ilikuwa English in the early 2000s. Fast forward to the late 2000s, we have the entry of Nollywood in Kenya. Not entry. Okay, let me just say one thing. You know what? Film industry in Kenya and other countries in Africa has always been there to like teach something, to like if they had a lesson they had to teach, they were doing it through films. But like the way of portraying us, we were running away from it. Unaona kitu kama vitimbi mtu amevaa sijui aje, so like there's no way you're going to like emulate that. After we were paying for things like that in primary school, we were paying for actors to come and do that skits in schools. Yeah, so there's no way you're going to get inspiration from that. The only and then apart from like the Kenyan film industry, there was Nigeria. And also Nigeria at the time, the only type of film messages they were not message per se, the only type of message they were portraying ilikuwa maybe horrible stepmother, ila nini, two sisters, blood sisters, Aki and Popo, like things that are supposed to make you laugh. So rarely would you find a film that would make you think. Like it was not even there. Why am I even talking about that? Like as in, it was so rare for someone to get inspiration from a film from another country in Africa at that time. You get, like you were supposed to be funny. That was the only job you had as Africans. Shumileta ushtuke ulale, Sarafina ulie umalize. Mama G and the whole troop. From a black child perspective, Tiki watch TV. Akina Beyonce, Akina Rihanna, like they are black people, but like we had to grow up so that you can, like we had to grow up to realize that they were also black, because their hairstyle, their way of being, the mannerisms, they were all white-ish. Or maybe okay, anyway. So the Kenyan media stream at that time had embraced so heavily. By heavy, I mean like Willis Raburu heavily. They had embraced Nollywood. mi hadi ningehepa class afternoon, like zile classes za afternoon za primary sijui mnafunzwa nini, ningehepa so that I go and watch after cinema. Yeah, sasa kwa hivyo sasa like Nollywood, the Nollywood characters started having personalities, so like they had started behaving in a way that you could want to behave yourself, you know. They had personality traits that you could want to emulate. So that's where film industry started getting inspirational. But that's not to say that they were never like inspirational, like they didn't have things to tell us, because obviously the whole time we had Makutano Junction, things like Makutano Junction.
Oh. Don't say a word. I'm going to the barbers today. It is just that I've been a bit preoccupied looking for my hat. I lost my hat. It is a stripy round beanie. Have you seen it?
No. Well, at least I saved you the bother of having to go to my office. Hey, watch out!
I don't know how to thank you. You saved my life.
Je, huu ni ungwana, but like wanakuambia tu, so they don't have like for example, like now right now kuna any character in Makutano Junction you can see and say ama like as in any character you can see, nasema like for example, is there any character in Makutano Junction that you can remember like personality wise? You can only remember the lines they were saying.
Jana, these cups will not fill themselves, eh?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir.
Make us a heavy breakfast.
In the film, but like there's no way we painted a picture of a character in a way that you would want to emulate them. They just give you a lesson and then they go, like ni kama walimu tu kwa class. They are so forgettable, unaelewa? Yeah, so let's go to the 2010s. The 2010s in Kenya. Oh wow, what a time to be alive. The phones.
The funds.
The phones. There came. While there was a cultural shift in the Western countries, the same happened in Kenya, but not in the same way. Experts will even say, like, you know, like there's a flip-flop. Like this one is flipping and this one is flopping, you know. So what happened in Kenya? In the Western countries, they started embracing in the early 2010s, they started embracing black culture. You can see that in the films like the Kardashians, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. At that time, they were black fishing and doing the BBLs and like what is this called? Lip plumping the lips, like making the lips plumper, so that traits that you only see in the body of a black person typically. Yeah, so while they will get the benefits of having an African body while still enjoying the white privilege, you were doing the vice versa. Around this time in Kenya, we were bleaching our skins. We were experiencing Tara colorism. The era of Rangi ya Tao. No, before we get to Rangi ya Tao, let me just backtrack for a second. In the early 2000s, so what happened? Like while the Western countries had the Keeping Up with the Kardashians to get another perspective of what a body can look like, we had Vera Sidika and the socialites, the Kenyan socialites, and then we birthed Vera Sidika. Vera Sidika, in whoever doesn't know, is a Kenyan socialite, and she did a full body bleach in 2013, and that was the start of a new era. So from here on, we're going to address the previous years as BV, and the after years after 2013 as AV. before Vera Sidika or after Vera Sidika, because as much as you can like accept, deny, or throw stones, like scream from your head to your toe, she was the start of a new era. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing in that sense, but it happened. So yeah, here we are talking about it. Vera Sidika brought to us the privileges one could get by having a an 8 shaped, is it an 8 figure number nani, figure nani inaitaje, like a bottle shaped. Like for the case of those who don't speak Swahili, babes, learn Swahili. Nasema figure number nani, like this, no, like this, like this, like how the benefits you'd get as a woman if you looked a certain way, of being a lighter skin, having these long beautiful wigs, having this fine body, the benefits you'd get as a woman. It was unbelievable, because that was the start of her rich girl era. So as much as most people would like to like throw stones because it can never be me, it will never be me, I would never do that, it shifted the entire girly groups. It shifted the entire WhatsApp group. Every other girly was doing it. So as you can see, we have this, we have that, we have that. The trend was trending, yeah. And then the lighter girl era, at the same time, we had the birth of black girl magic. While black girl magic was like, at the same time we have we have a lot of girls bleaching their skins. We had the boys doing the most unbelievable things on dark skinned women. Like you can see people even in jobs applications like complaining about colorism. At the time, if you like, not even at the time, every other time, if you were a campus girly, you usually, most people have done promotion. Me too. I also did promotion, being a promo girl. Activation. Imagine I went to this activation interview and I was, I don't know if you can tell, but I had a beautiful, beautiful friend with a very beautiful, beautiful skin that also happens to be darker than mine. Imagine she was denied the interview and she was told that she looks younger. That was the excuse. At that time, we were all 20, I think. 20, 21, 20. So you were working in a club at 20. Anyway, that's beside the point. Like, what I'm saying is that there were favors given to lighter skinned women that were not given to the darker skinned babes. So what happened to the like insecurities you built on that? Yeah, on the other side of the world, we have white babes turning the skins to the gods, like like correcting gods, like unfinished work. Like he forgot to add color, so we are adding color. All these body parts that were also very cute. I'm not against it or anything, but I'm just saying it was a cultural appreciation of another, not appreciation, just a cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation of a certain thing that that would like is normally known for another culture, another group of people. You get the point, Sindio? Fast forward to the 2014 Black Girl Magic. So that was the birth of Girl Magic. That was the era where black hair was appreciated, black skin started getting appreciated. There were like hashtags on Twitter about black skin looking beautiful, black hair being something to be worn officially or in public. Bonnets bonnets, but the bonnets came around like 2016. Not like obviously they existed. We used stockings up until then, but like it started being a thing, like a normal thing around 2016. But if you like around at the same time around 2014, we still have colorism in Kenya. I'm not going to talk about Africa because I don't know about other countries. I've also not researched enough for other countries. But like Kenya, if you are not white or lighter skin, or like just a pointy, if you're not Kenyan, a pointy babe is a mixed person. So if you are not white, pointy, or like a fair skin person, not fair, like a lighter skin person, we had a savior, Red Rika. Red Rika was Red Rikaing for us. It's just Red Rika. We had B612 before the coming of Snapchat. No, before Snapchat became a thing like had filters. Red Rika was the savior. Like if you wanted to correct the color of your skin, if you wanted to correct the anything that can like because if you don't do it then enough. So then the coming of makeup on there, like makeup YouTubers were like actually helping, where a period like 2015 was a period where everyone was going on YouTube to learn makeup. I'm talking about that because of the body image that was associated with being a fair skin or a lighter skin person in Kenya around that time. Yes, and also I've also learned that in the other countries, in the Western countries around that time, while the black fishers were blackfishing, the African Americans were like embracing they're letting the hair down, embracing the color, and like gracing the red carpet with the black hair naturally worn or like braided. And it was a beautiful thing to watch from over here. You guys pack your bags, we're going back to our roots. And then guess what happened? Guess what happened in the BV era? In the AV era. Why am I confusing the phones? Sauti Sol and Pato Ranking decided to change the story completely.
When a good girl gone bad, what you gonna do? One go me to die. We don't wanna do. What this is Sauti Sol.
By the release of the song called Melanin, and the entire music video had black girls all over, and they were so beautifully painted. Like it was like up until then, all the black babes in music videos were either like helping the main character who was like the lighter skin one, or playing, or like in movies playing best friends to the main character who is also a white babes, or like another shade of skin, or the black girl that is also mixed. So it's not even really representation, it's just like something to shut up the other people so that you can stay silent while also 1+1. So that was the change of an era. Like no one stayed the same. The world stopped. The world changed. The hair started growing back. My hairline started forming. Also, Beyonce said, and if Beyonce said something, and if Beyonce says something, you listen and you do it as Beyonce said it. So that was that. And then also the music videos, them black musicians who were producing videos had black girls as vixens, and not just supporters of the main vixen. They were like embracing. I don't know what happened. There was a shift in that around that time, where our blackness, or like our Africanness. I'm not even talking about the blackness. I'm talking about the Africanness. music, like our music started having like the African taste to it around the 2017. The Bambalas, like as we started, unajua nini, music has always been, Kenyan music industry has always been it, like the early 2000 music where ilikuwa inatukunywa, yeah, that's raw. The early 2000 Kenyan music was the best, but like I feel like racial evolution in Kenya has not been the same for boys. You can see the men who are like gracing the screens in the early 2000s. They just look like you don't even have to look anyway. Just be born there. You are there. You're sitting. Yeah, like you don't even have to comb your hair. Like that's doing too much. Take care of yourself. Why? Just go and sit there and look like the way you want. Done. Like while the men have not had the same responsibility of embracing their culture like that, they have played a big factor in they have played a big role in the journey of the females, because most of the time all these changes were made to get validation from the other party. Like obviously, like I said, the look that was that's like, for example, like if you are a learned person in the early 90s as a man, in the early 2000s as a man, you would go for someone that looks more westernized than the ushago person. By ushago I mean the like natural, like in your kienyeji girl era. Then someone, you'd go for that. In the early 2000s, you just go for, I don't know what they were going for, but like at this point I'm telling you guys, they were embracing the African roots. But like also, the men, they just here to ruin everything, and and just ruin things they started talking about, like being natural. They start being natural, stop wearing makeup. Babes, you're the people who made you're not, like, as in at the time you are the people who made the babes feel insecure about their skin color. That's why they were going for foundations that are 2 shades lighter than their skin, and they're like filtering everything about their faces. So no, Kenya, Nairobi, ukifika tu tao utajua tu umefika Africa, because you are seeing the babes, and the babes, they are looking so gorgeous. Watu wa dreadi wamezivaa, the bantunos are bantunoti, the rugged and the ruggedest, and the mommy jeans, na kiondo, tumevaa sijui nini, tunakaa fiti, tunakaa and then there came the visitor from 2020. We know what happened in 2020, but what happened in 2020 evolution wise, as Kenyans in the race chart, K-pop happened. So there we are in 2020, the coming of the K-pop. This is another culture that needs embracing. It's time for us to shift from Africa to another continent. We started changing. It's time to, like, come on, but you are there being African. It's time to change, that's one thing about a trend. That's one thing about, like, it's one thing to like something and like appreciate something, but it's also another thing to want to be like something, like to want to be something. You can't appreciate it from inside, can you? No, it's really hard, because also as an African, it's really hard to appreciate from inside. You need to step back and, like, try out, so that you can come back and see, oh, kumbe marejeo ni ngamani. And I think that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Day after day, hour after hour, lorries bearing police and troops drive away from the capital and head for the country. Along twisting roads, they travel deeper, ever deeper into the heart of the African jungle. For here, many of the Mau Mau are hiding.